Hello! Welcome back to my channel. I am excited to be back. This week I would do a dating story time. I made a TikTok about an unfortunate experience I had with a married man that led to some crazy situations. And a lot of hatred from people. I'm a homewrecker, karma's gonna get to me, I should be ashamed of myself, I have no morals, and then throw in a few "you have small tits, you're ugly" comments here and there. But I was like, okay, people really love, hate the stories, let me tell another one. Maybe we can bring some of that hatred for me onto the YouTube platform as well. So I already started to tell the story on my TikTok, so if you just came from TikTok and you don't want to hear the first part of the story over again, you can skip to this part. Or if you want to hear it from the beginning, you can keep watching. Let's get into it. This is my most cringy ghosting story I've ever had. So last year I was a Playboy bunny. I worked at the New York City club, like a members only bottle service nightclub restaurant during the first few hours, and then you flip the tables and it turns into So I was maitre d' on the weekends, and it gets pretty packed on Saturdays, and there is this table of 4 guys who were waiting for their reservation oh so very patiently, and they were all pretty cute. Finally I got them a table and was able to sit them down and have their meal and whatever, and one of the guys named Andrew was just really blown away by how nice I was to him. After their meal, I offered to get them, you know, discounted bottle service tables for the trouble of them having to wait so long for their reservation, and I was off my shift, but I gave him my number so I could keep in contact about the tables. That way I could set him up the table and then I get commission off of his table. So I was like, hey, just text me, I'm off my shift, but just text me if you want a table and I'll hook it up for you. Before I got off my shift, we were chatting a little bit and we just had a lot in common. We just clicked really instantly. I have a small business. He works with small businesses, helping them get capital, and we were just really meshing on like a cool level, and he just like wouldn't stop talking about like how nice I was to him, and I was just like, I work in hospitality, like it's my job to be nice. He texted me that he wasn't gonna end up getting a table after I left, but he was thanking me for the time, and I was like, yeah, hopefully we can talk soon. And he was like, yeah, definitely. He was super cute and nice to me, and I really liked how the thing he liked most about me was that I was nice. You know, guys usually want to emphasize so much as like how beautiful you are, or like some sort of physical attribute, and it's always really refreshing when none of that is spoken, and especially in the environment that I was working in as a Playboy bunny, that's usually, you know, the first thing that's said, and it was none of that. He just genuinely really thought I was like a cool, sweet person, and that made me feel really good. So we clicked really instantly. He like sent me a good morning text, like, good morning beautiful, like hope you're doing well, like want to meet up soon. We made a date planned. He blocked off his entire Thursday schedule, and we were gonna go walk on the High Line, go rock climbing, and have breakfast at his favorite place in the West Village. My mom was in town, so we had planned to have this date a week after, so I could spend time with mama and whatever. Once she left, it would be, the next day would have been our date. So I texted him and I was like, hey Andrew, excited for our date tomorrow, we're still on for 10 a.m. And he never responded. And it kind of took me by surprise because things were going really well. There weren't really any signs that he was like not interested. You know, we made like a definitive plan to meet at this place at this time to do this thing. So I thought it was kind of weird that he would just like ghost me. And I didn't want to show up at the restaurant and just have him stand me up, so I didn't end up going. I had texted him a week after that to kind of see what was up, and I never heard from him. It was like kind of sad. I tried not to take it personally, and I just kind of went on with my life. About 2 months later, I get a text from him at 1:30 in the morning, and it just says, Gabby, question mark? It seemed like very urgent. So I responded and I was like, hey, how are you? And my text was going through as a green text instead of a blue iMessage. and I thought that was kind of weird. He didn't respond to my text message, so I tried calling him, and it also didn't go through. At this point, I'm super weirded out, and I just left it alone. Then a month after that, same thing, late at night, I get a text, Gabby, question mark? And I tried calling him again, same thing, wouldn't go through, tried texting him, same thing, green text, no response. He just wouldn't respond to me. And so I felt like it was so weird that he would keep texting me, but then never respond to my text back. So I was like, shit, well, maybe it's like something wrong with my phone. Like maybe this is just like a technology issue. I made a Google Voice number and I tried calling him from the Google Voice number and texting him, and he still didn't respond. And at this point, like, I don't care about this guy. I'm just so genuinely curious, like, what happened to this man? Like, why did he ghost me? So I just wanted to get to the bottom of the situation. I was having like a Scooby-Doo moment. I was like, we're gonna find out what happened here. So I was like, let's connect on LinkedIn. I connected with him on LinkedIn and he friended me back. So I messaged him and I was like, hey, what's up? How are you? And he responded. And I've been working in China for these past few months. I get, because I had a friend who recently traveled to China, and you can like only communicate via this like one specific app, and otherwise it's like really hard to get in contact with people. Still didn't explain why he ghosted the first date, but I was like, okay, I'll let it pass. He didn't respond again. That's it. I'm done trying to figure out what the issue is. He's just not interested. I just decided he's just not interested. So I let it go. Then, a few months later, he texts me again. Gabby, question mark? Side note, I have a sex education podcast where I talk about, you know, first-time experiences and navigating consent and all of that stuff. And OnlyFans attached to that, where you can kind of have behind-the-scenes access of the podcast episodes. You can ask the co-host questions. It's kind of like if you had a podcast and you had a Patreon, but we decided to use OnlyFans instead of Patreon. So I was doing some podcast stuff on the OnlyFans, answering some messages, and someone messaged me, you know, asking for advice. He was like, hey, like, I don't want this to come off weird, but you know, I'm just like, I'm a 33-year-old guy. I'm just a normal dude. My wife is 9 months pregnant. But I've just had a really hard time wanting to get sexual with her because I just keep thinking, oh my god, there's a baby in there. And I was like, hey, yeah, like, this is common, like, you should talk to your wife about like how you're feeling, and you guys should like come to some sort of, you know, conclusion about whatever is going on with you guys. He was like, yeah, okay, thank you. Like, I just so you know, I'm not like a weirdo. Here's a photo of me. I'm just like a normal guy. Don't know why people always do that. And he sends me the photo, and it's this guy, Andrew. I'm just like, I messaged him back and I was like, hey, didn't you just text me today? Like, I know you. He was like, oh yeah, like, I didn't think you'd remember me. And I was like, yeah, of course I remember you. Like, we had this whole date planned. We were supposed to go out together. Like, why are you pretending like you don't know me? And he was like, yeah, I didn't know if this was gonna come across weird. And I was like, yeah, a little bit. You failed to mention that you are married and expecting a child. I was like shocked. This isn't the first time I've been deceived by a married man who I thought was single. He had showed interest in me when we first met and had this whole day planned. You couldn't have just mentioned to me before I gave you my number that, like, hey, by the way, I'm married and I have a child on the way? So I wished him luck in his marriage, and I was just like, alright, like, here's some advice I can give for you and your wife, and like, have a good night. And I didn't hear from him until a month later when I get the same text, Gabby, question mark? I don't know what this man wants from me. Like, I can't believe, what is my life? The fact that this isn't the first time this has happened to me is just like, case closed though. I figured out this guy ghosted me because he was married with kids. Anyway, that's my dating time story. Men in New York City suck. Hey, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next video.